All right, so in this video, I want to talk about how to create a website on Duda. Again, that's how to create a website using the platform Duda. Duda is relatively new in the web and in terms of web platforms. Like the old and trusted one is WordPress. Then a while back, Weebly came along, which was just bought by Square. Square has more of the e-commerce side. Duda is more of a small business side of websites. Weebly is very similar to Duda, but Duda has a lot better integrations when it comes to with Google. So let's log in to. First of all, you're gonna have to create an account on Google, on Duda, and you're gonna use the sign up here. You're gonna log in. Already have an account, so then you're gonna generally come up to it one like this, and you're gonna have an orange button here. You're probably gonna have a top row that's a little bit different than this, but you're gonna go to create a responsive website. So then Duda has a really nice setup when it comes to the variety of different templates. So let's just say we are a tree service. So we don't have a tree service here. Let's go to business. You can search for a variety of different templates. So you can choose whether you're a creative agency, you can choose a photography, roofing company, lead generation landing page, legal firm. So there's a lot of different templates that are available when it comes to it. So if you're a small business, I would choose business, right? If you're a restaurant, I would choose restaurant food. Then you can see what do you like the look and feel of things. So you have dental clinic, renovation, construction, painter, poke restaurant. I'm uncultured, so I don't know what a poke bowl is. But digital agency. So depending on the look and feel, I would concentrate on the colors more than what it says here and see, okay, do I like those colors? Are those colors fitting to my brand? And then I would choose that. That's how I would base that on, base your selection. So let's go up here and choose the home renovation and construction. And we're going to click on start building. So now we want to pick on this and the site name. Site name, you should be equivalent to your business name. So in this case, we're going to go with, I'm just south of Sioux Falls, so I'm going to go with Sioux Falls Construction and Remodel Incorporated. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now we're going to click Start Building. Now it's setting up the template and copying it, so then we can go in and customize it. Now, whenever you build a website, there's a number of different key components that you're going to go after. Now, Duda's made that very simple by, if you go into content, you can easily add in all your business information here. Now, local schema is a way that you can get found on search better, but it's more of a technological feature that just you want to enable it. Okay, so first of all, you're going to use a business name, and so our business name here is going to be Sioux Falls Remodel, or Sioux Falls Construction and Remodel Inc. Okay, now we are our business type. We're going to want to select the kind of thing we are. So we are a construction company, home and construction business. And then we want to put in our address here. In this case, I'm just going to put in in Sioux Falls. I don't need the internet to know where I live, so that's cool. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So it'll pull that up there, and then notice how the map will change. Then we have our office number. Now in Sioux Falls, all the office numbers are pretty much 605. So in this case, we're just going to do 605, and we're going to click save. Now we can edit that to make it so that it looks like is formatted a little bit better. So we can add our formatting inside there, and we'll click save. Then we want to add in our email. Okay, so then we'll go to here, label, this will just be called email, and then we'll go to here, info@siouxfallsconstruction.com. We'll click save. Now here's where it gets a little more interesting. So you have your social icons. Now this is where you want to put your Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all those different things. Now to enter it in there, you're going to take your business Facebook page. Here, we'll just do it a minute. All right, so here's a list of pages on Facebook that I manage. Now, I'm just going to pick my agency one for now. We're going to grab this one. We're going to grab copy link. This is the link that you want to add into Duda at this point, and then it'll populate with all the rest. Now, notice how it didn't come out perfectly, but you want it to, this is where they add in the certain portion of the link. So we want to delete all that they already add. So we're going to grab this, and we want to just include this piece of the URL. Okay. Then we're going to add in our business hours, and we're going to say, hey, we're open till 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is military time, so you select U minus 12 from that. You get 6 o'clock in the evening, and then you're set up. So then price range, that's an additional field that can be helpful, but for a lot of home service businesses, remodel, construction, electrician, a lot of those price ranges are just going to be so different depending on the bid or the job. The house you're going out to provide an estimate for, you don't even need to bother putting that in there. Okay. Now we want to just go up to the top here and review and enable. That'll be fine there. Enable schema. And that'll just enable Google to see more of your website so that you'll be found better in local search. All right, now notice how the 605 up here is populated up in here. So that means that's one less thing you need to change when building your website. Now in here, we want this to be our title of our website or our business title. So in this case, we're going to be Sioux Falls Construction and Remodel Incorporated. And this, notice how this is not the length that we want. So then we can go up down to this little blue dot in the corner and resize it. So then on desktop, whenever somebody's viewing this, it'll see it this way. All right. Then we can go in and edit all the different little text boxes that we have. We can revamp this to be our specific motto or description of our business. And then we can go in and change up the images. So in order to change an image, what we need to do is just click on it, and then we've got two options. We can either replace the image entirely, or we can adjust it the way that it appears using the edit function. So to get to the image library, if you have a ton of images from your Facebook page or on your iPhone or on your Android, you can add in a lot of those images through uploading them. You can upload them via your desktop, or you can hook up your Google Photos, so then it populates directly in here. So we want to go to Manage Images. And then notice how it has up here, Upload from Facebook. And here's where where things get really cool, is that you can log in to your Google Drive or your Google Photos or Instagram and upload photos from there. Because you're taking the photos on your cell phone, and so you can easily upload them by having the Google Photos app and allowing the Google Photos app permission to access the photos on your phone, whether it's Android or iPhone. And that's a really neat feature that I believe that I haven't seen in a lot of other places besides Duda. So that's one of the reasons why I choose Duda to build a lot of my client websites on. But there's a ton of different images here that we can add already, and we can replace that on there. So if we want to use this image, for instance, we can click on this, select, and then since it's already at the dimensions that we want, we've already selected it. Now notice how it's already, we just need to populate it in the back. So we'll click close. So we'll go to replace, full view. We'll select this image, click done, and it replaces the image for us. Then here, if you ever want to remove anything around and you can replace the text in there, you can easily click into it and grab it and just exit by using the check mark. Here's your title, do the same thing. Notice how it's already a heading 2, which means that it's prioritized in the way that Google crawls the page. You can click on the numbers and adjust the numbers, so then you can say, okay, hey, we've been in business for this long, or I have this number of years of experience doing construction and remodel. If you offer financing, be sure to spell installment right. But you could say, hey, we offer financing in that regard, and that's a skew. And what in the marketing terms, it's a skew. It's a way that puts you, makes you appear differently to your prospects than a company that doesn't offer an installment plan. Similarly, this way you could say, okay, years of experience. Well, how many in those 15 years of experience, how many projects have you completed? Well, a lot, 500 plus, and you can go ahead and change that. Or you can change the subtext to be how many, if you're an HVAC company, how many furnaces have you installed? How many RTUs have you installed? How many locations do you have? So you could change this up to be locations. You can check mark. You can click on this image. And so then you could go to, let's just say, okay, we want to replace that. You can try to click on select. Now notice how this image doesn't really fit. That's because the dimensions are really helpful. So we can go to here and find another image where the dimensions are better. I like to see where they're both even on both sides. So where the picture comes down to about where the bottom of this image is. I can adjust the size of this image by clicking edit. And then what I can do is go into transform. And then I have the option to crop as much as I want. Now, in this one, the top seems a little bit more to be empty space than the bottom. So we can click on grab the top here and crop it down that way. Now we're going to go back and we're going to click save and close. This will save the changes that I made on the image. So now it's a little bit closer to being even with that. It doesn't stick down so badly. Now notice how we've got our next setup here is our services. As we can click on this and we can say, okay, this is what we call an image gallery. This is a nice feature that you are enabled to use by, you can add this feature by going to widgets, and then you can go to photo gallery and drag it in here. Notice how the blue insert here, it drops it in there. So then you can go in and delete all those images because those are stock, and then we can choose which images do we want to include here. And we can click done. Now notice how we've got a whole gallery here. Now the nice thing about this is if we go into preview mode, we'll be able to open up those images to be able to see them in full dimensions. So I know this is important because then people can really see the details that go into remodel work and construction in general. I know, especially if you're into tile or tile installation, where you can make sure, okay, well, they did a great job when it comes to keeping things level. The grout isn't falling all over the place. The vent hole is cut well, so then the vent cover fits in there well. I mean, there's a lot of it, so you can see the details of it. It's not just a small little photo. And you're able to go and select the photos by the arrow on the side here. Okay, and then in order to go back to the editor, we can click back. Now you can choose what photo you want. This one's a they're working photo. It's an action photo, you might say. But then here's another one here. It's called an FAQ box. So you can open it up and you can actually see in preview mode, you can open it up and see add more description to it, send a request. And so you might say, this is how you send a request, and then add a link out to your contact form or your Facebook page or your link to where they can message you on Messenger. So you make it even easier for prospects to contact your office. Here's where each photo, this is a different style of photo gallery, but depending on which one is selected, you can view each photo. So if we go back into preview mode, we can select it. You can show off your different kinds of jobs the different types of jobs that you've built. And notice how you can choose which tabs to show. So this is the nice thing about Duda also, is you don't have to go to a separate page to update plugins. That was one of the really confusing elements of WordPress, is that if something's not working, you have to go to a completely different page. That difficulty is eliminated with Duda because they provided an update on the feature right there, and I was able to click it, and it's done. Now we're able to go in and edit that feature, and we'll see, okay, this is the label, and this is the photo that goes with the label. Now, in future videos, I'll be talking about search engine optimization, or SEO. When you're doing search engine optimization, you're going to want to include descriptions with keywords for your industry, such as if you're in remodel or construction, you're going to want to say that this photo is about the remodel that we did back in 2018. It was a full reconstruction of the homeowner's previous kitchen. Notice how you're including those various keywords: remodel, construction, the whole thing there. So those are different important notes to make as you go through and create your Duda website. So social proof. One of the more important elements of marketing is showing what you have, is showing what you've done. So up here, we talked about how you've got, okay, you have 15 years of experience, you have 500 projects. That's more of what I would call a 10,000 foot view of your work experience or your company's experience. So let's dive into what specific jobs you've done. You get a glimpse of them here, but then you'll also want to get a glimpse of them over here. This will be specific. Okay, this is the client, their review, and then the photo you took at the job. Now you might have different providers of that supply your products that you install. Now, or you could have your design company that provides the prints that to work off of. You could potentially add their logo here, and they would pay for a portion of the website, right? They would continue to they would take some of that cost because you're helping them out with branding, which, I mean, Duda is anywhere between 30 bucks a month to, if you have a ton of websites like me, it goes down to about $8, but that's the cost that they would help and pull that cost away without an issue. Now, when you go into the bottom, often you want to encourage people to talk to you. Now, this phone number, the way in which you can link out to different things is, this is a specific link going out, but what we want to do is tie it to our previous information. So we can click and connect to data. And here's where we want to pull the data from. So we want to pull our office phone number. So we're going to click save. And then we're going to change the font text, or the font color, to be white so that it contrasts with the background. But then they can go in and click on this section and be able to be redirected to your phone number. This is what we call an embed form. And so you have different fields that you can build. You have a lot of different fields that you can use. You can add additional fields. Like if you're doing remodel, you might be interested in the square footage. Place type is text, and we want it to be a required field. All right. So now we have that field there as well. So that if we're going back into preview, they'll have to add the number of square feet there. Or Or we can go in and edit the type of field. And you can choose, okay, well, we're going to give them a number of different options. We want to have, is it a small area, 0 to 1,000 square feet? Is it a mid-range, like 1,500 to 2,500? Or is it a large house, 3,000 to 5,000? All right, you can add additional options there, but that's how we can easily add that in. All right, so then when they fill it out, all they need to do is click on the button that most describes their house, so that when they submit it, that number will be entered, or that text will be carried through to the form that gets submitted to your email. So you know exactly, okay, what size job, about what size job you're walking into. So you can prioritize when you're reaching out to people. You can prioritize the larger jobs, which potentially have more profitability, over jobs that are smaller. All right. So again, notice how the Sioux Falls SD is populated here. Notice how your phone number is populated, and also the Facebook. This will pull in your Facebook page. All right. So if I was into the editor here, Facebook/study calls is there, so we're good to go there. Then you can include all your different social profiles there as well. Everything is auto saved. So notice how if we make a change down here, we'll click check. Notice how it's thinking about it here, and then it's check marked. So it's auto saved, so you never lose anything, never lose your information. But that's how to go in and basically edit a Word or a Duda website. In future videos, we'll be going over the details on how to adjust each section, and also how to make your site appear higher in the search results.